Hello Gemini, this is going to be your November reading. As always, if this reading moves you and you would like to donate to the channel, that information is in the About section. I did pull a couple of cards in the pre-shuffle, and we'll get to that in a moment. I want to just let everyone know that Neptune, Uranus, and Chiron will be in retrograde all month. Gemini, I know you've had an interesting 2019. So you had 3 whole cards coming up. Everyone else has been getting 1. You have some decisions, Gemini, some decisions coming up. And that's really been the vibe for the whole collective as we near the end of 2019. It's a time of action, it's a time of decision-making. There may have been something in your world, whether it was a relationship or a business partnership, that served you, but it's not anymore. And that's sort of been the vibe for, that was the vibe for Cancer and Taurus as well, for whatever that means to you. Let's go ahead and look at November. See what we have here. Gemini, you may be or you may have a very intense mother figure or 2 parental figures. And strong opinions. These people have strong convictions about how things should be done, why they should be done, and there's not a lot of room for movement. These may be people that you have walked away from in the past in order to reassert your own power. This could be a relationship, this could be in-laws. You know, there may have been a career path you wanted and you knew you would be successful. And you may even have been successful when you walked away, but something now is putting you off balance. Okay. Something is really bringing you a lot of pain and anxiety. This could have been that you ditched their advice to go marry someone they didn't approve of. This could have been you pursuing a career they didn't approve of. This could have been you moving in. Just anything at all where there was disapproval openly voiced before you made this decision. And the decision was working out for a while, but now there is a problem. That could be simply that you are missing those family ties. And, you know, sometimes even when we have money, that is no substitute for that family bond. You may be wanting to reach out back to them, but you are very concerned about what the reception will be. You're concerned they will not want to see you or speak with you. Or you may have been okay on this path for a while, and now it's not going so well. You know, if you set up a business, or if you chose to go with somebody and you know, eventually this advice turned out to be true, but maybe not for the reason they initially stated. You may be looking for the charity of their love and guidance and compassion, and to really reset the nature of this relationship within your family. Yeah, I think you're really thinking about, this could be an ex. I don't see a whole lot of that. It could be. But you're really looking to reset some type of connection in a way that it was before there was any friction, and it gave you a tremendous amount of peace. If this applies to an ex, what you would essentially be looking at from this reading, so it won't apply to everyone, is to reset to a time in the very beginning when things were at their best. Or maybe not the beginning, but whichever point in the relationship you felt was the most beautiful, where you were the most connected, where you felt the safest long term. Regarding my original thought that this had to do with family bonds, you are looking for the feeling of long-term safety, much like children have when they know that their parents will always be there, there's unconditional love, and you are looking at that now. But you're unsure of how to get back there. Regarding the first 3 cards that we had, that had to do with judgment, the Sun, and temperance, I would say that those have to do with some real decisions about how do you get back there, how do you reestablish that bond, because I did mention that that had to do with tough decisions ahead of you. Well, if you're trying to reconnect with someone who you feel has disconnected themselves from you, that can be a pretty frightening process. How do you do that? How do you get back there? If this is someone you haven't even had contact with, if the contact is very, it's sort of light and fluffy. There's no, it's just sort of, hi, how are you? And you need to have a deep conversation with this person about reestablishing the entire foundation of your relationship. That can be a pretty terrifying prospect. Let's see if we can look a little bit at what's going on the other end. Gemini, my readings are meant to be truthful to help, because I don't think if I sugarcoat things, that helps you get where you need to be when you're looking for guidance. This is fire all across the board. Just fire, fire, fire. Whoever this is, whether it's a relationship, a friend, family, they have very clear memories of what caused this break. And the good part of that is they may now be able to consider what their part was in the situation more clearly than they would have if you had gone back and tried to refuel this connection earlier on. There's an old saying, absence makes the heart grow fond. So I think that is where they are. But that pain lives in them as it does in you. Devil card showing up. This was a very deep wound. That is obvious from what's coming up here. These cards are all fire. This is a deep wound. They also may be considering what was going on in their own life at the time that made them react to you or your news in the way that they did. They have more of that clarity now, because there may have been something driving their negative reaction toward your news or whatever you were trying to communicate with them. They also have a desire to cleanse this negative history. I mean, this is just so much, there's so much pain here. I think they are also fearing what may happen if they reach out to you. Because it doesn't look like you have really had a lot of communication that was very soft and fluffy. If you did not entirely cut this person off, it looks like any conversations you had were pretty formal. You were not letting them deeply into your life. You know, if they called you, you were not talking about your hopes and fears. You may have just been talking about the weather, or, you know, hi, how are you? Oh. Yeah. But I think they also desire a new beginning, Gemini. So if you are having any reservations about trying to reach out, I don't think it has to be perfect. I don't think it has to be a perfectly rehearsed speech. You know, maybe just having an honest conversation, letting this person or people know that you just have the desire to rekindle some love and a relationship there. You know, sometimes that's enough. Just people knowing that the desire is there. And you can take it from there. But just know that they also have their own memories of how everything went. And even though they may be willing to set up some contact, they may, you know, you may have a difficult point in the conversation where you really have to both discuss what happened all over again. You know, I think these two cards, you have no and abundance. I think maybe set your expectations realistically. You know, you may have an initial conversation where you say, listen, I'd like to reconnect, and this person or these people may be closed off at first. It may take a little bit of work. So I would say, Gemini, for you, the main takeaway from November is just set your expectations at a realistic level so that you don't feel hurt or pushed away again by this person's initial response. They may be surprised that you're calling. They may feel awkward. They may not know what to say. And so, you know, that initial one or several conversations may, you know, be a little bit muddy. Don't panic about it. And I think that'll put you on a nice track for November. And I really wish you the most amount of healing for you and your loved ones. As always, leave comments down below, share your stories, and be supporting and loving of each other. Gemini, I wish you the very best November that you can possibly have. Take care.